It's time for Coffee with the Chicken Ladies, a podcast for people who love chickens.
Hey everybody, and welcome. It's Chrisie&Holly from Coffee with the Chicken Ladies. We're here, and this is episode number 256 of our podcast, where we talk about everything chicken, family, fun, and
more chickens.
More chickens. We drink a ton of coffee. I'm talking a ton. But most importantly,
we hug chickens every day.
And we kiss them too. Don't forget. We brew coffee from a little coffee roaster in Houston, Texas. Bright and early coffee. Holly Ann, what kind of coffee are we brewing today?
We have some delicious Texas cinnamon.
You can't go wrong with the Texas cinnamon. If you're not drinking this coffee, you are missing out, and you need to try it today. Mark our words. We have a code. It's CWTCL 15 for 15% off a bagged coffee. But where should everybody go?
brightearlycoffee.com.
And if you need K-Cups, go over to Amazon. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram. Are you ready to sip some of this delicious Texas cinnamon coffee and chat?
I am, y'all. But first, a word from our sponsor.
We have some exciting news to share from our sponsor, Grubbly Farms. They're here, new and improved, Grubbly's World Harvest.
I'm a longtime subscriber, and my flock love the healthy, nutritious treats, plus orders $40 and more ship free.
If you haven't heard, Grubbly's has a fantastic layer pellet and crumble feed. It's packed with plant and insect protein, perfect for those picky chickens and ducks.
Grubbly Farms makes food and treats for healthy pets and planet.
To support us and Grubbly Farms, use the link grubbly.co/coffee. Try it today. Fall is here and I am happy. Yeah. Woo!
Yeah, okay.
It's chilly. I got on a flannel. I'm happy.
Yeah, it's nice. The sheep are a lot happier. I'm a lot happier. Everyone's happier because it's not hot.
Basil is not happy. The blue Andalusian out there, she has no feathers. Hardly anything. And she looks so tiny. Oh my goodness, she looks so tiny.
Franny, one of my leg bars, is the same way. She just lost her last tail feather. And like her neck is naked. And I just feel so bad for her.
My ratio to tails versus rumpless tails is higher for the rumpless. So
mine too. And what really cracked me up is my Jubilee Orpingtons when they lost their tail feathers, because they just looked like big spotted basketballs with heads perched on top.
My two do not have tails right now, the Jubilees. They're sporting the basketball look. And, you know, everybody's out there just doing what they can to get through the molt. Poor Gigi. She's really heavy in the molt right now. But Celeste, she's looking beautiful. She went through it a few weeks ago, so she's back on the other side now. But, man.
I have a couple who have come through. But this I will say, in all my years of chicken keeping, and this is weird because I've seen lots of people say the same thing. In all my years of chicken keeping, I've never seen my roosters molt to this extent before.
Little man's tail is finally coming back in. He's taken some time to snuggle with Rocky, the puppy, lately. It's been really cute.
You know what else is happening that's interesting to me? And I know it's because we're at the equinox, so daylight and night are still fairly equal.
Yeah.
But we've got warm temperatures, so I've got my geese laying again.
Your geese are laying. Dogs and roosters are snuggling. What's wrong with this?
Yesterday, Apple Strudel disappeared, and I had a heart attack. I finally located her. She had made herself a nest in the garden behind the rose trellis and was doing her best to go broody.
It's been a really warm fall, so I feel like
Metzer Farm said that they had a lot of geese laying and they were considering putting geese eggs in the incubator again for a fall. You don't always get fall goslings.
Yeah.
So if they do that and you want goslings, get on it.
Yeah, Spicy's finally breaking out of the broody mode. She went broody beginning of October, late September. I'm like, what are you doing, chicken?
Poor Spicy.
Yeah, so it's fun times, but it's cooler. That makes everything better somewhat.
It's a lot better.
Especially women that have hot flashes. So yeah, it makes everything better.
It's really beautiful right now too. The leaves are changing and just everything's gorgeous right now.
I love fall.
Yeah.
I love it. It's my favorite time of the year. And on that note, if you're listening to our show and you're loving it, head on over to Apple Podcast and leave us a written review. It does amazing things for the growth of our show. We want to thank the few people this week that have left us ratings. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. We see all the stuff that happens over there. It does make us very happy. We're so glad that you guys are enjoying the show and being at the table with us. And if you can hit that subscribe button, it does amazing things too. They count them. And why would you want to miss any of this fun?
If you're looking for other ways to help support the podcast, you can tell a few chicken, duck, or goose loving friends about us. You can share your favorite episodes on social media. You can become a patron of the show. Patreon.com/coffeewiththechickenladies. A gigantic thank you to all of our patrons. You all are amazing. And the other thing you can do to help support the show is visit our website and our show notes, use our affiliate links and discount codes, and buy products from our sponsors.
Yay! You know what I love when it's 95 degrees outside?
Being inside.
Well, that too, but I really love cleaning my igloo chicken coop.
Yeah, it is so easy to clean. You don't have to break a sweat.
And you can use a water hose or pressure washer, so it doubles as a cool down. I also love those run covers.
Oh man, the shade is superb. I go into the run to cool off.
Yep, my flock's covered during the heat of the day, just chilling.
Meanwhile, we're melting on the patio. Seriously, can we get in on this amazing coop design for ourselves?
They're out there living the dream.
So when it's pushing 100 degrees, the right setup matters.
That's why we choose an igloo.
Get your girls their own just in time for summer.
Search Omelette. That's OMLET.
The Breed Spotlight is brought to you by Murray McMurray Hatchery, defining quality for generations. For over a century, Murray McMurray Hatchery has remained a trusted family-owned business, working tirelessly to ensure our poultry meet the highest standards.
Whether you are an experienced enthusiast or just embarking on the journey, look to McMurray Hatchery for guaranteed quality, rare and heritage breeds, low minimums, and all the supplies you need to raise your flock. Request a free catalog today. La 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 la! It's time! It's time for the Breed Spotlight, yeah!
Yeah.
Yeah, and this week's Breed Spotlight, we're doing somebody in the poultry family, but it's not a chicken.
We're doing the Chinese Goose.
Yes, we are. We know somebody. One of our lovely patrons just got herself a pair of Chinese geese.
Yeah, Angel. And I think we mentioned that last week or a week or so ago. Was Angel just adopted? She told us about it on our Patreon Zoom happy hour. She got a pair of beautiful Chinese geese. Now, they were the breed I wanted. I wanted Chinese geese, specifically brown.
She got the white, though, right? She got white.
I'm pretty sure she got white. The husband wasn't feeling any of the Chinese geese, but once he said we could get waterfowl, I told him he could pick the breeds. But believe me, there are Chinese geese in my future.
You better do it quick, man. Their lifespan's 25 years.
I know, right? It needs to be in the next year for sure.
TikTok.
Now, based on archaeological findings, the beautiful Chinese goose is believed to date back at least 7,000 years. Sometimes you'll see people saying geese are the oldest of the domesticated poultry.
Right.
Jury's still out on that. The chickens could be just as old, older. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. We've been co-living with poultry for millennia. The Chinese geese are large and graceful birds that are descended from the Asian swan goose, and they're classified with the Latin name Anser cygnoides. The European farm goose, they're all classified as Anser. Just
right.
If you want your Latin names. One of the hallmarks of the swan goose family, and then they're not swans, they are swan geese.
I got that.
I'm telling everyone, myself included. One of the hallmarks of the swan goose family is their long, beautifully arched neck, and the other is the prominent knob on top of their bill. You see this in both the Chinese and the African geese.
Yeah, it's pretty prevalent.
It is, yeah. It's really neat looking.
Yeah.
This is a heritage breed goose and is currently classified in the watch category of the Livestock Conservancy's Conservation Priority List.
Okie dokie. So they need a little help, as in most animals do out there. Let's get some geese, people. Let's do it.
In a study published in 2022, goose bones from Tianloshan, sorry if I'm saying that incorrectly, Tianloshan in China, were analyzed and dated. The site had been the settlement of early rice farmers who kept large numbers of domestic geese. The bones ended up dating to at least 7,000 years ago, which is 2,000 years earlier than the researchers had expected. They thought it was going to be about 5,000 years.
Right.
Archaeologists also found decorated goose eggs that were included in burial sites, which I thought was really cool.
there's more space to decorate the eggs. They're bigger. So
that's right, they're bigger.
They're grander
too. So a lot of people carve them.
Right. They're stronger. I mean, look at duck eggs and goose eggs. They're both really strong compared to the shells of chicken eggs.
Everyone's always shocked about how hard you have got to whack them to crack them open.
We allowed to say that on the show?
Whack them, sure. Geese are extremely practical birds to keep, and I'm biased, and that's okay. They love to eat grass and weeds. Their eggs are absolutely delicious. They're good watchdogs. They make a racket if they see something or someone that doesn't look right. And if handled as babies, they can develop very, very strong emotional bonds with their people.
And their aunties.
Right. Who is thinking about stealing them? Get your own. And then,
I want the ones I already have a connection with.
Nah. You get your You steal my geese, I'm stealing them back. In their native China, these geese were used to weed around rice and other crops. And this is the really interesting thing about Chinese geese to me. They were selected for their laying ability, and that breeding effort made the Chinese goose the best layers among all of the goose breeds.
I think we talked about that in the past, that this breed is really a prolific layer. I mean, they're great at doing that. So that's one of their pluses. That's for sure.
It is, for sure. Chinese geese showed up in both the UK and early/colonial America in the 1700s, most likely arriving on fast-moving tea clipper ships. That's the way a lot of the poultry came here from China.
We drove one of those when we were in the UK.
Very badly. There were goose bones found at Jamestown Settlement in Virginia, but they were not identified as Chinese geese. They were most likely the European type.
Right.
Now, George Washington received some Chinese geese as a gift and kept them at Mount Vernon in Virginia. Fun fact, the man who gifted the geese was Gouverneur Morris. I could be saying that name completely wrong. It looks like a French version of governor.
It does.
Gouverneur Morris. He was one of the founding fathers, and he wrote the preamble to the Constitution, which made me think maybe that's one of the problems with modern politics. There is not enough goose gifting.
You would like that. You would like that.
I would. I would like that very much. The Chinese geese continued to be popular into the 1800s, and both color varieties of Chinese goose were included in the first printing of the Standard of Perfection in 1874 in the light goose class.
I don't think there's any really light goose, though, to be honest with you.
It's pretty subjective, isn't it?
It really is.
A light goose is like a really heavyweight chicken.
Yeah, exactly.
So I dug around a little more. Obviously, we have some of the early history with them, but I wanted to see if I could trace them through the years. So I dug through some old poultry journals. An article in the Farmer's Review of 1892 mentioned that the feathers of the white Chinese goose were in high demand and very, very easy to sell. In the 1920s, early 20th century poultry writer John Henry Robinson mentioned that the Chinese goose was sometimes known as the leghorn of the goose world because of their laying prowess.
Okay, I could see that.
He also noted that Chinese geese weren't usually regarded as dual purpose unless the two purposes were eggs and showing, because these were such popular show birds.
Yeah, I mean, hey, good for that goose. They're just eggs and showing, so they're like, I'm out of that category. Thank God, check.
I am sure there are people who use them as dual purpose in the traditional way, but in general, they have such a light body, people would rather keep them for years as good layers.
Right. Okay, so the Chinese geese come in two color varieties, as we were saying, white and brown. Holly Ann wanted the brown. She did not get them. She got other breeds.
Yeah.
The white is entirely white with only their blue eyes and their orange knob, their bill and legs giving them the color. So that's kind of cool. The brown variety has orange legs, but their eyes are brown and their bill and knob are dark slate colored. Now they have a brown stripe that runs from their eyes to the top of their head and all the way down the back of their neck, which is kind of cool.
They're very beautiful. And we should note that it's the same coloration that you see in African geese because they're very similar.
Exactly. So their body and fluff feathers are a soft grayish brown color, and their backs have medium brown feathers with lighter brown edging. Did everybody get that? That sounds beautiful. Sounds great.
Pretty. They are pretty.
Now, the long necks make them look large, but we do know that they're light body. But in reality, their bodies are short and light. and on the short light side with a high compact breast. I don't know. Can we say that stuff?
Of course we can, since that's the term for like poultry chest is breast. And I think
just JK and just JK.
I know. But I think the takeaway there is that, I think goose are bred for those really heavily muscled breasts.
It's all relative. Like, right. They're little, but they're big in the world of poultry because all geese are bigger than most chickens.
Right,
so
exactly. Relative.
Know what you're going to get. You're still going to have a goose house. You're still going to have like, let's look at the weights here. I was going to say 10 plus pounds. So ganders generally weigh between 10 and 12. Now, that's a humongo chicken if you have that. And that's not very, right? That's not very out there in popularity right now. So you got to make the provisions for a very large poultry.
Yeah.
While the females are usually between 8 and 10 pounds, and I will say for a goose, that is pretty small.
It is.
But if you have a space restriction or you're an urban homesteader and you have less room, this probably would be the goose for you because you don't have to make the goose house as large. And they're not going to need tons and tons of land to be walking around to be grazing. So
right.
This would be that goose that we would say the urban homesteader. This would be great for them. Yeah,
they do need some grazing space, however you want to maintain that. But yeah, they're definitely a smaller, as far as the goose class goes, this is it. This is your little one right here.
So these geese of either color will lay you anywhere from 50 to 100 large white eggs per year. Now, this is a lot because usually geese lay once a year and have a season of laying. You have to think about it a little bit differently. It's not like the chickens that are going to lay from winter all the way to fall. They have a laying season. So 50 to 100 large white eggs per year is a lot for a goose.
That's very good. My buffs probably lay somewhere between 20 and 30-ish.
It's a lot.
It is a lot.
For a season.
A goose egg is about 3 chicken eggs. Right. My Toulouse is a production Toulouse. So she will lay 40 plus eggs per year, but 50 to 100 is a lot of big eggs.
Now, various sources note that their eggs are a bit smaller than eggs from the larger European style farm geese, but they're still bigger than chickens or ducks even. So Chinese geese will go broody. I think that we've all realized that with your geese. Geese do go broody.
Yeah, geese definitely go broody a lot.
And poor Pete had to deal with a broody goose when we were in the UK. I don't think he'll be doing that next year.
Probably not.
We saw the pictures of what happened to him. It was not pretty.
Yeah, if you didn't hear that episode, when we were in London, my husband attempted to take Mirabelle, the Toulouse, off of the nest. And there were eggs in the nest. And she did need to go out. But she bit the daylights out of it. So.
We saw the picture. It was not good.
No.
Now, if you keep ganders, tread lightly around your sitting geese during breeding season because they're highly protective of their ladies and their ladies' eggs. So that's how little man is. He's highly protective of eggs. So you have to tread lightly around it during those times.
Yeah. Geese mean business when they bite and pinch. It's not like
little man.
It's not like a little love bite or a little love tap. They mean business. They have got those big serrated bills.
I cannot imagine that. You know how I am when he jumps out at me, like when he's coming after the eggs? I cannot imagine a gander coming out. I would be screaming so loud that people would be like, what the
difference
heck?
Is like roosters jump at you, right?
Yeah.
But a gander is just going to chase you with his head out because he wants to bite.
I said something about geese to Joe the other day, and he's like, heck no. When he was in high school, he internshiped at NASA, and they had the Canada Goose all around the property of NASA.
Are you talking about Greenbelt?
Yes, he got chased like every day.
No.
So he's like, I have zero, like, so then he told me too, he's like, last week, there's some of the Canada Goose at work, and one chased him into the building, basically.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah, he's not one with the geese, so.
No, the geese are not big fans of Joe. Good Lord.
The geese are like, Joe's coming.
Yeah.
Go get him.
Geese in general are pretty gosh darn cold hardy. They can actually get frostbite when they're little footies.
Anybody can, yeah.
Right. if there's ice and snow on the ground, you might want to put down shavings or straw or something to keep their feet warm.
Oh, yeah.
With the Chinese geese, you have got to watch that knob. Same for the African. That knob can get frostbite and it can freeze. And that is not a good spot for frostbite.
I think people should look into making like a stylish turban for the knob in the wintertime.
Oh my God.
It would be great.
I did not know where you were about to go. I did not think
It's like, can you see that? That would be so stylish in the winter. You could make one out of wool. It would very much so protect that skin.
Or, like we do, you could just have a couple of cozy coop heaters installed in the goose house so you don't have to put turbans on your geese.
I would like to see the turbans on them.
You come over and put a turban on.
I will. I would do it. Now, if you have, go ahead.
They do well in heat, but one of the things that saves them in heat, because they can get
water. It's water.
Right. So you've got to have water available for them. And in the house, we just have a really strong fan in their house to keep the air circulating.
Oh, yeah. Now, if you have space,
they're very weather resistant.
If you have the space for geese, they are some of the most wonderful pets that you will ever have. This is according to Holly Ann. She says, they are. My one caveat is make sure that you have provisions for them if you're older, because someone will have to take care of them.
Wait, you mean if you yourself become too old and feeble to care for your geese? Is this you saying that you're going to be my next of kin if I die?
No, because Joe will be like, no, they're going to chase.
You'd have to fight Pete for him, too. Pete loves those geese.
No, so just their lifespan's longer than most poultry, which we didn't mention before, but 25 years plus. Yeah. So I have an African gray parrot. Everybody knows their lifespan's very long.
You need an African goose, too.
But that's why I joke with my oldest. I said she was born to be an heir of Grayson, the parrot.
She was. But, you can get a breed from Metzer called the Super African Goose. Super African. That right there is a special goose.
I got to get through Joe first. I don't think that's going to happen. He has some very bad things that have happened to him with geese, and I don't know if he can get past it. I don't think he can.
I'm sorry to hear that. It's unfortunate.
Now, the Chinese geese have a reputation for being really good noisemakers. That's how we're going to say this. Yeah. Because if you need a watchdog over your flocks, over all your animals, this is the animal to get, because they're going to alert you that something's going on.
Any geese will be loud when they see something that they think is a problem. I mean, that's what they do.
Yeah, they're smart.
They can be trained if you put in the time. You do have to put the time in with them, but they are smart. And here's the thing about geese, and this is one of the things I love. Geese are quite emotional, and they're often very dramatic at times. But I think that's part of their charm. I love them.
They're kind of like, I feel like parrots, when you have a high intellect, emotional intellect, they're like, oh, come on, can't we do this? Like they know what they want and they want it. So,
well, yeah, mine wanted my sweet potatoes. So they dug up my sweet potatoes and
they got it.
They find them delicious. And I raised my voice, and that was a mistake. I hurt their feelings.
Don't do that, because then they'll come to Aunt Chrissy and say, Mommy hurt my feelings.
I know that I'm safe from that now. Thanks, Joe.
Okay, so now that we've talked up the geese, where should everybody go to get their geese?
You can buy sexed Chinese goslings from both McMurray Hatchery and Metzer Farms. If you want to get involved in showing, we recommend you join the APA. There's a very active goose contingent in the APA.
Join it. You want to.
I just keep thinking about the Waterfowl building at the Ohio National.
Oh my God. It was so loud, but it was packed.
The geese were just, talking up a storm.
Oh, yes, they were.
Are you ready to dive into the fascinating world of backyard ducks? Look no further than Metzer Farms, your premier destination for top quality waterfowl. Whether you're a seasoned breeder or just starting out, Metzer Farms has everything you need to elevate your flock to the next level. And if you're passionate about call ducks, you're in for a treat.
Metzer Farms hatches a stunning variety of call ducks, meticulously bred for their miniature size, beauty, and calm temperament. From snowy whites to vibrant colors, each duck is a masterpiece waiting to grace your backyard. Visit metzerfarms.com today to browse their extensive selection and start your journey into the wonderful world of waterfowl. Metzer Farms, where passion meets perfection.
If you're looking for a chicken coop that's produced in a planet-friendly, sustainable way, try Nestera.
Each coop is made from highly durable, 100% recycled plastic that keeps the equivalent of up to 2,000 shampoo bottles out of a landfill.
Their clean, modern design will fit into any garden or run area and comes with an industry-beating 25-year warranty and a range of handy accessories.
Simple to put together, so quick and easy to clean, and most importantly, red mite resistant. Your chickens will love it.
Quick shipping from Nestera US.
For a 5% discount, use the affiliate link in our show notes, on our website, and on Instagram. Link in bio. Check them out today. Okay, so we're ready to move on to main topic. Yay!
Yeah, I'm really not. I want to keep talking about geese, but
you were sipping your coffee. You weren't ready for that.
I was not ready. And I was thinking, no, I don't really want to move on. I want to talk about geese some more.
Because we have a little bit of a more serious main topic today, because we want to talk about the respiratory system in chickens, because we feel like everyone needs to know about this so that you know the things to do, right?
Right. The avian respiratory system is very different from the mammalian respiratory system. Understanding it is really important because it can make prevention and treatment of respiratory issues in your chickens a lot easier. So we're going to talk you through how it works and then talk about what to look for, problems that can occur, and what treatments actually work when it comes to bird lungs and air sacs.
So here's the thing to know and remember. Birds, including chickens, right, and other domestic poultry have it's different. It's a unique respiratory system. Now, instead of flexible ribs that move as the lungs expand like we have, chickens have rigid lungs and multiple air sacs that expand and contract to move the air. So, think about our lungs. When we breathe in, it moves with our lungs.
You see your whole, what do you call that? Rib cage. You see all that stuff moving. It's all
that stuff is moving, man. It's going. But with the chicken, they don't have movable lungs, so we look at it this way. They have air sacs. And that's with a lot of avians. They have different ways of breathing.
Because the overall result is that the body is much lighter in weight, which they need for flight. And in fact, this is fascinating. Some of the air sacs are actually connected to their hollow bones. They call them pneumatic bones.
Right.
And this really aids them in air flight.
I mean, when you think about it, a chicken breathing begins with inhaling through the nostrils or the beak. Okay. Now, if they're suffering from certain types of stress.
Yeah, that open mouth breathing.
Yeah, that open mouth breathing. The breaths travel down with the trachea and into the bronchial tunes. Okay. Now, leading into the lungs from there.
I think they call them parabronchial tubes in chickens.
Right. And the air passes into and through the lungs and continues on to the air sacs. Now, these air sacs are so important to the chickens.
Yeah, they're crucial. On the way into the air sacs, the air passes through those parabronchi in the lungs, and that's the place that allows for the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide.
So important. Now, chickens have a total of 9 air sacs. There are 4 pairs and 1 single sac. All of them expand and contract, drawing air out of the lungs and keeping it flowing through the body. Now, the air sacs connect to hollow or what is that? Pneumatic bones in the chicken's body.
Right. So we mentioned the pneumatic bones earlier. They include the skull, the humerus bone, the clavicles, that front keel bone, the pelvic girdle, and the lumbar and sacral vertebrae. And that was fascinating to me. I didn't realize it was that many.
Breaking any of these bones may cause a chicken to have difficulty breathing. Now, keep in mind, that's so much more complex kind of than what we have, because we have the lungs and they're protected by the movable ribs.
We do have some pneumatic bones. You know where they are?
Where?
In our face.
Oh, yes, definitely.
So your head isn't so heavy that you can't hold it up.
You say I have a big head.
No.
Or a little head.
You have a smaller head than I do. That's why you give me stretched out sunglasses.
Oh, by the way, I have like 12 pairs of sunglasses to give you.
Thank you.
Though is extremely efficient, a chicken's respiration can be negatively affected by dust and other particles in the air. You know, it's crazy. Cold drafts, fire with smoke, all those different things can cause problems with those air sacs.
Also, too much ammonia, like if your coop is really stinky.
Oh, yeah.
That can really do it.
That's one of the things that everybody says. That's why you really need to, if you're using deep litter, switch that litter over so that you're not having that ammonia up in their faces.
You need to turn it, right, so the microbes do their work, and then you layer new bedding on top of it at each time you turn it.
And even cold drafts. I mean, that's serious stuff that can affect it. I've had multiple chickens that have had a touch of smoke inhalation from a backyard fire from a neighbor when the smoke was coming in, and they had to be treated for it. So anything that comes into those air sacs can affect them.
Anytime you see a bird with open mouth breathing, take a look at it, try to figure out what's going on. Like in some instances, the chicken may just be hot. She's panting to release heat and bring down her temperature.
A pain response.
Could be a pain response. She could be stressed about something. But it is also possible that, like you said, that bird has inhaled something harmful and it can damage her air sacs. And this is why it is super important to keep their environment clean and as free of toxins and airborne fumes as possible.
Because on top of having a respiratory illness, we don't want to have our environment causing respiratory problems.
That's avoidable, right? That's avoidable, yeah.
Exactly. We can avoid that with good husbandry. We can take care of that risk factor and take it off the board. Because when they are put in with bacteria, a viral, something, we want to be able to treat them as best as we can for that and not worry about environmental factors.
Right. So common respiratory problems, we'll just run through these. Like you mentioned before, there's exposure to smoke and fumes, but there's also mold and other fungus spores.
There's bacteria such as mycoplasma and viruses like I was talking about, avian flu or infectious bronchitis, etc., that these birds can get. So the bacterial infections may need to be treated with antibiotics. And that's the thing. When you say, okay, we need to do something, we need to just, say we need to go to the vets or we need to do something. And generally it's go to the vets with respiratory.
It's generally go to the vets. It's very hard for most people, us included, to figure out the difference between a virus and a bacterial infection.
Right.
So your vet is going to have more diagnostic tools to figure that out. And obviously they'd prescribe antibiotics. Viruses pretty much just need supportive care. But again, the diagnosing is the hard part. One of the things that I would look for is any kind of discharge, whether it's eyes, nose, or mouth. Any kind of discharge coming out, that bird is going to the vet for me.
I would look for ongoing sneezing, coughing, lethargy, not eating, drinking, pulling away from the flock. Those animals need to go to the doctors right away. I want to talk about something. I want to bring this up because we get so many questions about this product, and I want to address it right here now so that it's out there. VetRx and respiratory problems. Everyone wants to go to it. Number one, and it's going to take care of it. And we want to tell you, VetRx is basically...
It's clove oil and a couple of other essential oils in an oily base. It really smells good. And actually it can be a bit of a bug repellent, but there's nothing antibacterial in it. It will not cure an infection.
It's basically the equivalent of when you put Vicks on your chest when you have a cold. It helps to clear the passage a little bit with those herbal remedies, but it's nothing to treat an infection. It's just going to be, it's a product to use for comfort. Right. And sometimes, everyone's like, I have the VetRx. That's great. We do too. But it's not going to treat anything. It's a comfort product. So it's going to make them feel a little more comfortable.
I would even go so far as to say if someone said, I have a bird with respiratory problems, I use VetRx, it cleared up. It could be that bird had a virus and the VetRx was a good supportive therapy, but that virus resolved on its own.
It's a great tool to have in your toolbox.
Yeah, I have it. I keep it.
We all keep it. And to know when to use it and to know what it's for, actually, I just wanted to put that out there because we get so many questions.
I also, just a note, and I felt so sorry for this poor woman. She was so upset that it happened, but someone used this improperly and got into her bird's eyes.
Yeah, you got to be really careful.
Never put undiluted essential oils on your bird anywhere, not in their eyes, not in their nose. no place. No place.
Exactly. So our recommendation is for lethargy, for, just feeling bad, for coughing, for sneezing.
Coughing, sneezing, standing around hunched, anything that would make you think there's a problem with your bird, whether it's respiratory or not, is worth getting checked out so your vet can diagnose for you.
Yeah, go to the vet. It's simpler to have an exam and get medication at that point. They can tell you if an x-ray of the lungs is warranted at that point, and have that relationship with your veterinarian so that you can easily and the most cost-effective way treating them, because you will spend more money, mark our words, buying 100 different over-the-counter products than just getting that one medicine from the vet that's going to take care of it. Right. So that's respiratory system in a nutshell. And if you have any questions or concerns, DM us or email us. We're here.
Absolutely. I mean, mycoplasma is one that's an ongoing issue for a whole bunch of reasons.
Right.
But again, diagnosing that yourself is really, really difficult.
Okay.
We could probably do have we done a show on mycoplasma? Because we could.
No, but we need to bring Dr. Rebecca in for that one.
Yeah, we sure do. We need to do that.
Okay, so let's move on to
cracking the eggs.
Cracking those eggs. Now, as you all know, October is pumpkin month here for Coffee with the Chicken Ladies, because we love ourselves some pumpkin.
That's right.
We do.
Now, it's also molting season, so we're doing something a little different than we usually do. We know eggs are scarce, so we're doing a recipe where you only need one small egg, and that is for an egg wash.
How many eggs did you get yesterday?
2. And
I got 0. I got 0.
So the other thing is you can leave the egg out altogether if you don't want to use this for the egg wash.
But it's molting season, so we know. So we wanted to put a low egg recipe in here, and we love pumpkin. So
this is a really easy to make pumpkin scone that we threw some mini chocolate chips into. As always, we include the gluten and dairy-free substitutes, but this is really easy and quick to make, and it's so pumpkin-y and delicious.
Let's go through the ingredients. 1 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour or gluten-free 1-to-1 flour, 1/4 cup of granulated sugar, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, 6 tablespoons of cold butter or dairy-free cold butter cut into pieces. If using the unsalted, add a generous pinch, or as written, a punch of salt to...
Why are you calling my typos out on the show? Because
it's cute. A punch of salt.
Punch of salt.
1/2 cup of pumpkin puree, 1/3 cup of buttermilk or dairy-free buttermilk, 1/2 cup of mini chocolate chips, or a whole bag, whatever you want to add.
Yeah, I mean, go for it. Whatever you want to put in there.
1 small egg. It could be a bantam egg even.
Yeah.
1 teaspoon of milk or dairy-free milk, and 1 tablespoon or 2 of sanding sugar or the turbinado sugar. I always keep the turbinado in my pantry. It's in there.
Congratulations. Me too. You're going to preheat your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Line a baking sheet with parchment paper or a silicone baking mat for non-stick easy cleanup. In a large mixing bowl, whisk together the flour, the sugar, baking powder, baking soda, spices, and that salt if you need to use it. Use a pastry cutter and work the butter into the flour mixture until it resembles coarse crumbs of different sizes. Now make a well in the center of the floured butter mixture, and you're going to pour in the pumpkin puree, the buttermilk, and the chocolate chips, and stir them all until they're just combined.
I just want to note, you can get a powder to keep in your pantry at all times for buttermilk. I know you can use lemon to make it, but sometimes I have lemon, sometimes I don't. But this powder is on Amazon. You could just have it there all baking season.
I mean, we just had that conversation yesterday, and I'm surprised it took you this long in the recipe to say that. I was thinking you would say it with the ingredients.
Well, are you saying I'm predictable?
No, I know you well, though. So, you're going to sprinkle a work surface with 2 tablespoons or so of flour. Turn the dough out onto that work surface, and you're going to pat it into a round that's about 1 inch thick. Cut the round into 8 equal-sized triangles, and then transfer them to your prepared baking sheet. Now, here's where you use your egg or don't use your egg.
Whisk that egg, baby.
Whisk the egg and the milk together, and then brush it on the top of each scone. But if you don't want to use the egg, you can just do milk. And then sprinkle that sanding sugar or turbinado sugar over top. Pop these in your oven. Bake them for 15 to 20 minutes or until they're golden brown. And then let them cool completely and serve. They are ridiculously good.
They're so good, and they're pumpkin. Try it. You might like it. Let us know what you think. Take some pictures. Okay, so let's move on to retail therapy. Retail therapy. Yeah. This week's retail therapy, we're keeping a theme because you guys know we like a theme.
Vintage Goose Collectables. And they span the gamut, anything from plates to gooses on nests. And gosh, I can't even, pin cushions. There's so much goose stuff.
I think I gave you half of the stuff for Christmas last year.
You gave me a lot of goose stuff last year. There's the glass goose bowl.
I gave you the container with the lid. I gave you the wall sconces of the little girl and the boy with the geese.
Right.
I could see them even in the goose house being super cute. I just saw them like wherever.
Actually, my intention is to hang them in the goose house. I just haven't gotten to it. But that's exactly what I thought. They'd be perfect.
I gave you a big old stuffed vintage mother goose.
There's a lot of mother goose stuff around.
Oh, yeah.
Like anywhere from fine china, mother goose, like dishes and pitchers. The other thing you can find, and they're starting to become collectible again, so you've got to look carefully, are the 1980s style white goose with the blue bow.
I was going to say, we can't go without mentioning that because that is the biggest, most highly collectible thing right now are the geese with the blue bow. And us Gen Xers know our childhood, our moms had those in the house. My mom had it in the kitchen. It was a kitchen theme one year. Was the blue bow goose.
And you can find complete sets of like stoneware dishes that have the blue geese. Glassware, I think Hazel Alice has a whole line with the country geese. In my own kitchen right now, I have a cookie tin with geese with blue bows on the front. And I also have the classic, I would call it an icon of 90s decorating, the white goose cookie jar with the blue bow.
Now, you did tell me that if you give people cookies in that cookie tin, they're not getting the tin. Like, they have to give the tin back.
Nobody's getting cookies in that tin. What are you crazy?
Well, what if you give me cookies? I might keep that tin.
First of all, when I gift cookies, I give them in a tin that doesn't have to come back to me. Second, you are not getting this tin. It is not coming to you. I'm sorry. It was my mother-in-law's. You cannot have it. I love you, but no.
Okay, well, I'll just come load up the geese instead then.
That's an idle threat because Joe said no to geese. You shouldn't have told me that little tidbit.
Okay, so should we tell everybody what we're going to be talking about next week?
We're doing some more waterfowl next week, and this is a fascinating breed. We're doing the Muscovy.
One of my favorites.
Yeah. Main topic, we have a really nice interview with Cassidy Cornell of the 1 Acre Homestead about her new book, talking about small-scale homesteading.
It's possible.
Cracking the eggs, a delicious pumpkin applesauce bundt cake. It is so good.
That you're bringing to my house.
Yeah, right. And not my tin. Retail therapy, we're doing the duck collectibles.
Yes, because there's so many out there. Okay. So what should we tell everybody to do until next week?
Hug your chickens, ducks, and geese.
Every day and kiss them too. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
If you'd like to see more of us, please follow us on Instagram at Coffee with the Chicken Ladies. If you'd like to help us grow the podcast, please leave us a written review on Apple Podcasts. If you'd like to become a patron of the show, please visit our Patreon page, patreon.com/coffeewiththechickenladies. Thanks for listening.